The healing power of music. A story of friendship and hope.
John had always been a successful pianist, playing in concert halls all over the world. He had won countless awards, and his performances were always met with thunderous applause. However, after years of touring and performing, John found himself feeling empty and unfulfilled. The thrill of the stage had faded away, and he was left with a sense of loneliness and isolation. John decided to take a break from his music career and move to a small town by the sea. He rented a small cottage and spent his days walking on the beach, watching the waves crash against the shore. He hoped that the change of scenery would help him find his passion for music again, but nothing seemed to work. One day, while taking a walk in the park, John heard a beautiful melody. It was coming from a small gazebo, and he couldn't resist following the sound. When he got there, he saw a young girl playing the piano. She was only 8 years old, and yet she played with a passion and joy that John had not seen in years. He watched her for a while, and when she finished, he introduced himself. The girl's name was Lily, and she was just starting to learn to play the piano. She was full of enthusiasm and excitement, and John found himself drawn to her energy. Over the next few weeks, John visited Lily every day to teach her more about music. They played duets together, and John began to feel a sense of joy that he had not experienced in years. Lily's passion for music was contagious, and it started to rub off on him. One day, John found himself sitting at his piano, playing for the first time in months. He started to remember the feeling of the keys under his fingers, the thrill of creating beautiful music. He began to play more and more, and before he knew it, he was back to his old self. John realized that Lily had given him the greatest gift he could ever ask for, the love of music. She had reminded him why he started playing in the first place, and he was filled with gratitude for the young girl. John continued to teach Lily, and as she grew more skilled, they started performing together in the park. They attracted a small crowd of people who would stop and listen to their music. John found himself once again enjoying the thrill of performing, but this time it was different. He was playing with a sense of joy and freedom that he had not experienced in years. As time passed, John and Lily's music attracted more and more attention. People started to come from all over the town to hear them play, and they even caught the attention of a local radio station. Before they knew it, John and Lily were invited to play at a charity event in the city. On the night of the event, John and Lily performed in front of a packed auditorium. The audience was moved by their music, and when they finished, they received a standing ovation. John felt a sense of pride and joy that he had not felt in years. He knew that he had found his happiness again, and it was all thanks to the magic of music and the kindness of a young girl. John and Lily continued to play together for many years, bringing joy and inspiration to anyone who heard them. Their music touched the hearts of many, and John knew that he had finally found his purpose in life. Years had passed since John had met Lily, and they had continued to play music together. They had become close friends and were inseparable. John had moved back to the city, and he had opened his own music school. Lily had grown up and was now studying music in college. One day, John received a call from Lily. She was in tears, and he could barely understand her. She told him that her parents had died in a car accident, and she didn't know what to do. John immediately drove to her college and found her sitting in the park, looking lost and alone. He sat down next to her and put his arm around her. They sat there for a while, not saying anything, just holding each other. John knew how much music had helped him when he was going through a tough time, and he wanted to do the same for Lily. The next day, John brought his piano to Lily's apartment, and they started to play. They played all day and into the night, losing themselves in the music. John had never seen Lily play with such passion and emotion, and he knew that she was using the music to heal. Over the next few months, John became Lily's rock. He helped her through the difficult times, and they played music together whenever they could. John realized that he had been given a gift, not just the gift of music, but the gift of friendship. John and Lily continued to play music together, and they even started to write their own songs. They entered a songwriting competition, and to their surprise, they won. Their song was played on the radio, and they received letters from people all over the world who had been touched by their music. John had found his happiness through Lily, and he knew that he had to help others find theirs. He started a program at his music school, where he would teach music to children who had lost their parents. He wanted to give them the same gift that Lily had given him, the love of music and the hope that it can bring. Years later, John sat at his piano, playing a song that he had written for Lily. He thought back to the day he had met her, and he knew that it had been fate that had brought them together. He had found his purpose in life, and it was all thanks to the magic of music and the kindness of a young girl.